Good morning, everybody. Glad to see your faces. My name is Sondra Becker. I am your payroll manager. I know a lot of people in here by name. I don't know your face. So after this, introduce yourself to me. That's great. Obviously, I pay you all, so I know your names, just not your faces. So anyway, Greene County Payroll, we are a part of the county clerk's office. We're located in room 113. So if you ever need to find me or my two payroll clerks, Teresa and Tabitha, you can find us there or at the service window in room 114. There's a little window out there where Teresa sits, and she will be able to take direct deposits from you or W-4 forms from you or whatever you may need for your payroll needs. So we're open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. I have my, obviously, email on there. If you do have questions after all of this and you'd like to email me, feel free. So what payroll is your total amount of wages and salaries paid by Greene County to employees. And I took this little snippet of your deductions. A way to think about it is our lovely HR ladies. They do your benefits. So all of your health benefits, things go through them. I'm the one who's taking the money out of your paychecks for your deductions. So you might see your federal withholding tax, your state withholding tax, your Social Security, your Medicare, and your SURF. And if you do have a SURF 457 savings plan, that's where you're going to see this in this little deductions. We are going to talk about loggers later on. The loggers is actually a benefit to you. So you'll see that in your benefits section of your paycheck, but the retirement section does come out of the payroll. So we'll talk a little bit about loggers later. It just doesn't end up on your pay stub in your deductions. It ends up in your benefits. So some of the common questions that I have, this may seem very basic to most people, but to some of you, this might actually be the questions that you have. These are the things I receive the most emails about or the most visits in our office. How do I change my direct deposit? How do I change my state and my federal tax withholdings? What retirement plans does Greene County offer? Or maybe you're thinking about retirement and you want to come see me and just discuss how you get there, what steps you need to take. How many years do I need to work to be vested with my retirements? A lot of the new hires will come ask me questions about their retirement, how many years they need to be here in order to receive those retirement benefits. How old do I have to be to retire for loggers and SURF? And of course, the ages are different depending on if you were going to retire early, if you're police, if you're just general employment. So we're going to go through all of these questions one by one, and I'll try to answer anything. If you have questions, feel free to raise your hand and I'll take them throughout, or we can take them at the end. So, click twice. How do I change my direct deposit? So I need you to come to the Greene County Clerk's office or to room 114 in person. It's just like going to a bank. In order to change your direct deposit, we want to make sure to see your ID. We want you to fill out a direct deposit form, and we need either a direct deposit slip from you or a statement from the bank with your name, your account number, and your routing number on it. We want that ID just to make sure it is you, and we're not going to transfer funds into somebody else's account. And then no deposit slips. A lot of people want to not give us a voided check. They want to just put void across a deposit slip, but the routing numbers on deposit slips are not always the same. So we've found out the hard way that deposit slips are not always the best. A voided check is ideal. So the next one is, how do I change my state and federal tax withholdings? Please, please look at your paycheck before tax season comes and you realize we have taken out no taxes all year because of what you've claimed, or very little taxes, and you're paying in. Because at that point, we've already taken the money or given the money to you, and we cannot reverse what we've done for the whole year. So please, please look at your paycheck, look over your state and federal tax withholdings, make sure they are correct. We are here to help you as employees. If you have questions, ask us. We will try our best. We often say you need to go see a tax professional if we cannot answer your questions, but we want your tax withholdings to be accurate. So if they're not one paycheck and you want to change it again, I am happy to change it again. If they're still not what you want and you want to change it again, we will do it again. And we will keep doing this until you are happy with your withholdings. So we have state and federal tax forms. I can email them to you, the blank copies. You can come to the office and pick them up, fill them out, sign them, bring them back to the service window at room 114 is the easiest way. Or if you want to come see me in room 113, I'm happy to see you. If you have questions, and just drop them off. Again, I recommend dropping them off. A lot of people will email these forms to me. They'll interoffice these forms to me. These forms have your social security numbers on them. So it's not always the safest way to be emailing them to me. I'm leaving this up to you. It's not something you have to see me for, but I would prefer if you can to come see me. That way social security numbers aren't floating around in interoffice mail. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the retirement plans. Tabitha is, if you have not met her yet, our new retirement specialist. She came to us on July 10th, and I am happy to have her. My old retirement coordinator was Julia Carter, and she's still in our county clerk's office and there to help. She is just doing tax admin stuff now. So you have a couple of retirements that are guaranteed to you. We have loggers and surf 4%. We're going to talk about both of those separately. Your surf 457 or your empower, that is an elective one. So with loggers, like I said, that's the benefits part of your paycheck. It is Missouri Local Government Employee Retirement System. It is a completely county paid benefit to you. So at this point, you pay nothing in, no money comes out of your paycheck. It takes 5 years to be vested in this. But it is a retirement plan that you do not pay for. The county has been gracious enough to give to you. As long as you're a full-time employee, I should reiterate that. SURF 4%, now that is mandatory and 4% will come out of your paycheck. So this is your second retirement, and it's a mandatory employee paid retirement. If you are not vested when you leave Greene County, you can contact SURF and you will receive those funds back. So you're not just throwing that money away if you don't become vested. SURF 457, I want to let you guys know I have forms up here. This is the one that not a lot of people know about, or if they're already doing it, that's great. It's 5 years to be vested. There is a match. This is an elective retirement. It's a savings plan. So it's 50 cents on every dollar up to 4%. And a lot of you might think it's 6%, but it changed this year. This is not a Greene County change. This is the SURF board change. This is something they did this year. This was not our choice. So it's 50 cents on every dollar up to 4% for the match. So you might see your SURF 457 that you're contributing to. You can contribute as little as $5 to it if you want to, up to $1,000 if you want to, whatever you just decide to contribute to it. But the SURF 457, you'll see that that's the money you put in. And then you'll see a 401A, which is that's the match that they're willing to match you. In order for you to receive those funds, you have to be contributing money consistently for 5 years. So retirement vesting, I think I just talked a little bit about this, but loggers, it's 5 years. So the way to think about this is since it's a benefit, no money's coming out of your paycheck. Greene County is paying into this pool of money for you. If you leave before 5 years, then that pool of money just goes back to Greene County for another employee. But if you stay for the full 5 years, even if you decide to leave Greene County employment and then retire later on, there'll be some kind of retirement for you when you contact loggers. SURF 4%, it is 8 years. So if you're here with 8 years and we hope to keep you that long or longer, then 4% of your paycheck has gone into this retirement, and you will be able to recoup some of those funds for your retirement when you get to retirement age. SURF 457 Empower, again, 5 years vested for that match, and that one again is the elective one. If it's something you're interested in, please take a form on your way out and get it back to me, or feel free to email me if you have more questions. But this one is the only one we have a match with, and it's phenomenal. You guys should all contribute to it if you can. So I know I'm looking forward to retirement, and I'm counting down to 20 years. But it is something that we think about. So our retirement, how old do you have to be before you can retire with loggers? So the employee retirement age for normal retirement age, general employees is 60. For your law enforcement, it is 55. Your early retirement age for general employees is 55, and your law enforcement is 50. If you decide you want to retire, please come see me 30 to 90 days prior to retirement so we can get you all the correct forms. You can think about your retirement. Sometimes we send forms in and they're not correct, or we need a spouse's signature, and we want to make sure everything is good to go by the time you actually come to your retirement date so you're not missing out on some funds or maybe not getting paid for a couple months. I know it's a lot to think about, but once you have that retirement date locked and this is definitely when I'm going to tell my people I'm retiring and I'm out, come see me and we'll start that whole process. SURF. How old do I have to be to retire under SURF? So normal retirement benefit age is 62. The reduced retirement benefit age is 55. So the way I want you guys to look at your retirement is when you leave here, you should have Social Security benefits that start at 62. You should have your SURF benefits, and then you should also have your loggers benefits. If you put all three of those together, it should equal what you're making with Greene County, and you should feel like you're pretty comfortable. Hopefully you have other retirement benefits out there, but those three put together should equal your pay now. I have a lot of people, even my own personal uncle retired from the highway department, who say, I make more in retirement than I actually did working for Greene County. And it's because they planned accordingly. So please take the time to look over those retirement benefits, ask me questions if you have them, kind of discuss when you want to retire if you need to. But between Social Security, SURF, and loggers, you should be set to kind of equal your pay. With SURF 457, if you do contribute to that, well, then that's just a bonus. Or if you have your own 401k plan or other plans out there, then a bonus to you. But these three plans are meant to cover you. I didn't go over a whole lot, but I know you guys probably have questions. So feel free to answer. I'll ask or answer any questions you have. Oh, okay. I have a $5 person. And they're okay with it. I mean, if they do, they haven't told me that there's $10 minimum, but I do have one person contributing $5 every pay period. So, yeah. Anything else?
The time frame, the years that you were stating, if you were hired on May 1st, does the year count the following May 2nd, or does it have to be May 2nd and then until December 31st of the following year?
No, it's monthly. So yeah, they're looking at monthly. Okay. Yes. So what else do we have? Yes.
In the event that direct deposit, we want to put it into a secret, non-wife knowing savings account.
Yes.
Emergency fund.
Okay.
If it's a savings account, we'll have a check. So how would I get that?
Okay. So yes, just go to your bank, and if you tell them you need something, they will give you like a letterhead that states, this is your name, this is your account, this is your routing number, and then you can have that secret savings account. And we won't say a word.
It's for her benefit.
It's TOD to her, right?
Okay, yes. I'm going to tell you we would prefer two, but I have had people with multiples up to like 5. The reason I say prefer is you have to keep in mind we hand type all of these numbers in each direct deposit. And so every time the payroll process happens, one of my payroll clerks usually puts this information in, and I will go back through and I will check all these numbers. And if you've ever looked closely at your routing numbers, your account numbers, sometimes they have multiple zeros. There might be like 6 zeros lined up. If we miss one of those zeros, it's not going to go into your account. Or the bank might have to figure it out and direct it to your account. Or Justin might have to pay you out in cash. And it's all because we messed up with one digit. So the more account numbers you have, the more chance of human error. And not that that happens, but we try our best to make sure that doesn't happen. So 2 is preferable if you have like your bank account and your savings account. I know I do have one person who has his bank account, his savings account, or his checking savings, and then 3 additional savings for each of his grandchildren. So, and I was nice enough to put those in, and everything's worked out great. But again, it's me typing in a bunch of numbers or my payroll clerks and having to second look over those. So I just don't want there to be a whole bunch where we want to keep them accurate. So anything else? Yes.
year and your age, or it's just strictly based off your age?
So no, what I'm going to tell you first off is Surf and Loggers encourages us to, when you're asking about your specific benefits, to contact them because they're more knowledgeable. They don't want us to give incorrect information, but it has to do with the years that you're in service. So the age limits I gave you were just for retirement age, so you can kind of see this is when you can retire under these benefits. But it looks at your years of service, the money you paid in. So if you're a vested employee and say you only work for Greene County for 10 years, we're going to find your 2 highest years for SURF, and we're going to send that in, and we're going to certify it and seal it and say this is the 2 highest years of employment. So they're really looking at it's a multiplier with the numbers of how long you've been here and how much money you've contributed.
So can I add on to that?
Sure.
Because you had made the comment that Social Security plus the 2 retirements would.
It should
what
equal, and that's what their
income.
hope is.
But that's not true for somebody who's only worked here for 5 years.
Correct.
or 8 years.
We're looking at
You're
retirees at that.
talking about somebody who's invested a significant
Yes.
portion of their career to the county. That would be true to them because it's the number of years of your service times those
Correct.
factors that would equal.
Correct. We're looking at retirees. So your Social Security, your SURF, your loggers, for someone who has been here for 25, 30 years, that should be equal. If you've been here for, 8 years, you got vested, you left. We're hoping you have retirements elsewhere, other retirement plans. Yes.
The 457 5-year, is that incongruent with the other vesting, or do you have to?
No, it's not incongruent. So are you asking with 457, you could start at any time. The date you start is now 5 years. So, I mean, if you haven't started doing your 457 and you're only contributing to, well, loggers is, like I said, a county paid benefit, but you're only contributing to SURF, then your SURF 457, if you decide you want to start now, your 5 years starts now. So, any more? Yes.
I mentioned Tucson with the payroll module, and the house payroll modules don't communicate as far as employee address versus vendor address. So if
Okay.
expect like a house payable check paid back to you for expenses, something that you're owed, but the employee or the vendor address. If
No.
you've moved or something.
Is this something when we get address changes, a lot of times they will come to payroll and they'll come to HR? Is this something where we need to make sure that you're included in this so that you can start changing your addresses also?
If they're a vendor currently in and their address is wrong,
Then you've been sending a check to the wrong place.
HR does look at the address changes that come in.
Right.
And then we look at the vendor side and we will.
Okay.
Great.
So, and one thing I was going to say, especially with kind of the things HR does, is like your cell phone stipends for your employees, any kind of updates for your employees. Even though you know that HR is going to take care of these things, please put them on your payroll checklists also, because I look at those also and I make sure that they've been entered. So a lot of my job is just looking over the work that maybe my payroll clerk is doing, or even the work that HR is doing. We're all human. We make mistakes sometime, and we want to make sure you get paid out correctly. So if you can include me on some of that stuff, put it at the bottom of your payroll checklist, then I can make sure that your people are getting paid correctly, even though that's what HR is putting in, or maybe that cell phone stipend happened, the address change happened, just things like that. I'll check to just make sure that everything, was taken care of. What else? Okay, one of the things I am going to say to you, over here, I have SURF 457 forms. I have direct deposit forms for you. I have W-4 forms, your state and your federal. So I have everything over here if you need that now, or you can feel free to email me if you have questions or if you want the forms. Again, the state and tax forms, if you do fill those out, please, think about it when you send them in. I know we do have a lot of interoffice mail ones. I have a lot that get emailed to me, but your personal information is on that. So if you do have time to walk it over on your lunch break and give it to Teresa at room 114, she'll be happy to see you with a smile and take it from you, and we'll get it put in. So any more questions that we have? Okay. Yes, sorry.
You mentioned it, but did loggers or serfs say why they changed from 6% to 4%?
So it's the SURF 457 is what he's talking about, the one that's the match, that's the elective. It just said the Board of Trustees, every year they decide what they're going to match. And this year it happens to be 50 cents on every dollar up to 4%. So they didn't go into detail. I mean, I could probably, call someone and ask them and figure that out, but it's just what the Board of Trustees did. So I want to reiterate, it's nothing Greene County did. It's their decision. So, but no, they didn't actually give details of why. Yes.
So you can put money into the CERT. Do people ever put 4% in the regular CERT, or is that all you?
No, that's all you can put in. So you just put in your SURF, your 4%. Now, if you do have money from maybe a different employer that you want to transfer over, we can put you in contact with the SURF 457 Empower people, and then you can transfer money over that way. They're not going to match that amount, but they'll at least give you a place to put some money if you have a different retirement. So a lot of people have that question. They want to be able to transfer retirements over, but your SURF 4% is strictly just a 4% mandatory amount. Yes.
The amount that you put in, like the deferred one, if you left before your vested amount, you get the money you put, the portion you put back in that?
Correct.
And that's an addition.
Correct. Yeah. So if you decide you want to put some money into that and you leave before your 5-year vesting, then yes, you can get your money back. Yes, because this is a pre-tax amount. Yeah. So they're going to tax it. Yes. Anything else? Okay. Well, if you guys need forms, they're up here. If you have more questions and you want to email me or call me, feel free. Like I said, Teresa is at room 114. If you have questions, she'll do her best to answer questions for you there. And then if you have not seen Tabitha in the hallways, long hair down to her waist. Oh, she's right over there. Look. Say hi to her and introduce yourself to Tabitha. She has done great so far. She has been a blessing to me. So she's done wonderful. Anyway, you guys are done.